My childhood was pretty good. Brought up semi in the church. Most of my family was in the church. Gave my life to Christ when I was 12. And one of the more challenging things growing up was my parents. They really didn't like each other. So a lot of fighting, yelling at each other, and stuff kids shouldn't normally see, especially from their parents. Nonetheless, they loved me. They took care of me. Weed was really the one thing that I stuck to. Tried a few things here and there, but didn't really like anything. I grew up seeing my dad doing a lot of stuff. I could see him and his friends, and I saw the effects of it. And so I kind of tended to stay away from a lot of the harder drugs, even when it was offered to me. But the weed was just kind of very relaxing, but it made me lazy, procrastinated through things a lot most of my teenage years. I didn't give full effort, I think, because of that. It was into my 20s. I'd been back from overseas for a few years. I just didn't like being around anybody ever. Kind of like keeping to myself. Sabotaged a lot of relationships. Probably around 26 to 27, I started realizing that there was an issue, but especially through the military and just seeing the way the men in my family acted, as you just kind of push through it. It'll end eventually. A phase or a period or something that would come and go. Progressively, it just kind of got worse and worse, but I never really thought of it as getting worse. I kind of developed a just understanding, that's just who I am, just a depressed, isolated man. I met Lindsay. I thought that would fix me. That love for her and just the importance she had on me would just fix my depression issues and just my anger, my anxiety, and that didn't happen. We were good for the first four to 5 years, and then she got pregnant with our firstborn son, Grayson, and then I kind of put that onto him. This will fix me. And then it was after I had my son was when I really started realizing how much like my dad I was. When I'd spent my whole time growing up saying that I wasn't going to be anything like my dad, and I was going to do everything different. And here I am doing it completely the same. I started just kind of regressing a lot and just kind of backing into my own self. I would get lost in movies and television shows, or not really doing so much, drugs or anything. I still had weed, or the Delta 10 that they have nowadays, the legal weed. Was kind of what I developed into. But I try to get lost in the fantasy world. Just try to watch any movie where there was a hero or something and get lost in that. If I watch enough of it, I'll be able to get something from it. Marriage got worse. I was an okay dad, knew how to have fun, but as far as like disciplinary and stuff like that, I just wasn't doing a good job. Ended up cheating on my wife, worst mistake I ever made. Screwing up a great marriage to a really wonderful woman. Had my back and supported me in everything. I would not talk to her. I couldn't talk to her. I tried so hard to force myself to, and for whatever reason, I just wasn't able to. She got fed up. With the being high all the time, and what I was doing in the background, I'd started huffing little cans of air, keyboard duster. It started out as just a way to just erase everything in my mind for a little bit, but then it turned into really just trying to end it in a way that didn't seem like I was trying to end it. I wanted to go away without my family losing the benefits of life insurance, and I thought that might be a way that I could hide it. She was really the first one to suggest a program might be what I needed. But the plan was to go back to North Carolina. I was where the rest of my family was, and maybe it might help being around them, being around my Uncle Robert, who was just a great Christian man. But I came back, was there for like a couple weeks, just kept spiraling out of control, not getting any better, scaring everybody I was around, especially my mom. Put her wits end. I found out about a better way through a guy I used to work with. I'd gotten reacquainted with him through my uncle. I went one day to vent to him at a church where he's a youth pastor at, and ran into Nathan Davis' brother, Shawn Davis. Shawn Davis told me about a better way. He's like, it worked for my brother, and told me about his brother's story a little bit. And it was almost instant. As soon as I looked at it, I was like, saw boot camp. I was like, all right, I can do boot camp. I was like, that might be what I need. Did the application. Billy called like 30 minutes later, said, when do you want to come? I was like, all right, I'll be there. So my mom and my youngest brother, Chase, brought me down from North Carolina. We pull up to the property, and it was beautiful property. We pull up to the office, and like nobody told me what door to go into, and like I had no idea where to go. So the first door I walked into was a transition door into the kitchen, and there was Derek Mort making a sandwich. I was like, is this where I'm supposed to be? He's like, yes. I was just like, okay, where do I go? But he led me downstairs, and first day was rough. I got 2 boys. Grayson had just turned 4, and my youngest was having his first birthday in a month. And I'd been with, especially Grayson, man, I've been with him every day for his whole life, and now I know I'm not going to see him for at least 18 months. So it was pretty rough that first day. I mean, like really the first week, knowing that I'm not going to be able to see him. I can't even talk to him for 30 days, which that was probably the crappiest part about it for me. So a lot of tears that first day. Getting led around, it was a cool place. I was ready to just kind of, I didn't really want to be around anybody, which you're kind of forced to be around everybody. That was the hardest part for me outside of not being around my kids, was just the forced exposure to everybody and having to get used to being up close and personal with these guys, which I'd done before in the military. It wasn't nothing new to me. It was just I'd become so isolated. It was a rough experience. So the structure at A Better Way was awesome to me. I know that's not a typical answer for these things, because it seems like the hardest thing to get used to for most guys, but it was welcoming for me, because that's what I needed, and that's something that I'd been used to and that I enjoyed when I was in the Army. So having that structure and getting back to it was almost like a breath of fresh air. And it was very easy to adapt to the rules, and they're stupid rules, but you understand why they're rules. It was an easy experience for me. I didn't have a lot of button infractions and stuff like that. So the structure was amazing, and it really helped ground me in the program. And just, it was something I could turn to. Reverence in the mornings, like not being able to talk. I was fine with that. I like being quiet. I didn't want to hear half the guys talk anyways. So the brotherhood here I thought would be similar to the brotherhood I had in the Army, but it's completely different. It's almost like the brotherhood in the Army was based off brushes with death, or what we're doing on the weekend. The guys would lay down their life for me, but that's pretty much what the brotherhood was based on. And here, the brotherhood is these guys are willing to live for me and help me live. And it's not laying down their life. It's almost like they're serving with their life, and I'm serving with my life to help them. It's pretty amazing to think about that, because in the Army, if there's nothing really going on that's dangerous, we really don't talk. We'll hit each other up, every now and then, once in a blue moon. And it's almost like, we never left each other. We've always been around. But still, it's easy to kind of walk away from those guys and kind of be apart from them. And here, I feel like as soon as I'm trying to get everybody's number here, to make sure I, stay acquainted. And I'm ready to start planning stuff outside of here with the guys I've been through. Just trying to go on camping trips or something like that. Just having these guys here to talk to whenever you're feeling down, and being comfortable and vulnerable, and just learning that vulnerability. Because there's no vulnerability in what I'd been through before. You keep everything in, you hold everything back, you don't show weakness, you don't show hurt. And here it's almost like it's welcoming. And if you're not showing hurt or showing pain, then something's wrong. And we can see that, and we understand that now. It's almost like you're hiding something or holding something back if you're not. Because we're human beings, we're always going through something. There's always going to be a time of down. So if we go so long without ever coming to one of our brothers with a struggle, then something's off. My trip to Florida started out kind of bittersweet. I really didn't care to go to Florida. I've been to the beach, been baptized twice. I just wasn't motivated to go down there for whatever reason. But once we got off the property, and it's like, okay, I'm away from all the rules and stuff, I can kind of relax a little bit. It kind of started setting in. It's like, all right, this is needed. I was supposed to go on an earlier trip. Circumstances, changed that, so I had to wait for a later trip. So I knew the guys, and I had a good relationship with most of the guys on this trip, but it just wasn't the guys I was supposed to go with. It's a beautiful place. The house is wonderful. Got to hang out with Brother John a little bit, which was awesome. Get to know him a little bit better. Played some Scrabble with him, which was cool. I had him until we got down to the final tiles, and he was hitting the good small letter words. He got me in the end, but it was fun just playing with him and a couple of other guys. And just, got to go to Walmart. It was the first time I've been to Walmart in over a year. Walking around Walmart was just fun in itself. Getting up in the morning and sitting out on the balcony and just watching the storm come out from over the sea. It was just beautiful. The baptism, we got down there the first day, and I was still fighting. I didn't know if I wanted to get baptized or not. Standing there with my feet right at the edge of the water. I look down and I see this little baby crab as I was trying to get into the deep end of the water. And it's fighting against the little waves or the wake, and it keeps getting pushed back. And it's just fighting against it and keeps getting pushed back. At one point, it just, like it sunk its pincers into the sand and just let the wave wash over it, and then let go, and the tide pulled it in further, and it was gone. I thought back to my first 2 times of being baptized. First time I was a kid, I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what it meant. The second time, I was doing it to appease others. And it was almost like I was fighting against the water. I wasn't letting the water work for me. I was like, okay. I was like, I need to let the water work for me this time. I need to let the water just wash over me and pull me deeper into that foundation God's laid out for me. I finally just let go out there in the water and went down, and just that brief second you're under the water, I said, take it off, in my head, obviously not out loud. It was just a good experience. It felt much different than the other time. I felt free coming up out of the water. A better way has really helped me overcome life-controlling issues. I mean, it is what you see on the website. I came in angry at everybody, angry at the world, angry at God, full of anxiety, like super depressed. I was on medication. I can't think of the last time I was really angry at somebody. I've been mad, but I haven't expressed anger in almost a year, I think. I've been able to come off my depression medication, and I kind of just did that on to just wean myself off. I was like, I don't really think I need that anymore. Not felt any form of depression. Anxiety's still there a little bit, but it's got more to do with other things. But the depression I feel like it's gone, and the anger is subsided. A better way is giving me the tools to respond to others in a more respectful way. Even in those tense times, or in those times where I really don't like the person I'm talking to, or I'm not vibing with this group of people, I'm getting irritated and I'm annoyed, I can respond in a respectful way. I was very sarcastic and condescending. That's kind of how I talked, and I've kind of gotten rid of that. Being able to respond without that condescending tone, I was real good at making people feel down without yelling, and so I realize now how that makes people feel. So I'm able to think before I talk, which is something I've never been able to do. I usually just respond, so it's there and it's heard before I think about it. So I really just want to thank Lindsay for having the courage to step away from me and tell me I needed to seek some sort of help, and was really the first person to push me in that direction. She's been supportive through this whole thing with the kids and allowing me to FaceTime and talk to them. I even got to visit them since I've been here. I really couldn't have made it through this program without her support and her willingness to do that. Lindsay, I thank you so much for that. I thank my mom and my Uncle Robert, my brothers, and all the family that supported me through this. My mom's come down here to take me on pass and family days, and it's a pretty long drive for her. She does it without a care in the world, man. She loves me, and I know she loves me. I love you too, Mom. And just thank Brother John for making this all possible, creating just an atmosphere where we can come together, guys that have so many different areas that they come from, and just grow together in a body of Christ. Thank Brother Doug for his support through the whole thing, and I just thank the guys at the warehouse. Brother Corey, he's been supportive of me through this whole thing, and he's given me some really good opportunities and really taking care of me in the work aspect. I really appreciate that. And I just really thank everybody that has anything to do with A Better Way. There's so many moving pieces and behind the scenes things that we don't see. It's a very well-oiled machine, and it's an amazing experience.